Tonight, from Chicago, Soundstage. Urban roots have provided popular music with some of its richest sources of material. From our cities have come ragtime, honky-tonk, jazz, and urban blues music. Tonight on Soundstage, we couple the traditional jazz and blues licks of one of its finest practitioners, Mose Allison, with the gritty sound and late-night imagery of Tom Waits, a young musician who finds his inspiration in the half-deserted streets, garish neon signs, and the midnight cafes.
You know, there were Nighthawks at the diner. A little joint called Emma's 49er, with a rendezvous of strangers around the coffee urn tonight, and all the gypsy hacks, and now the insomniacs. And the paper's been read, as the waitress said, eggs and sausage and a side of toast, a coffee and a roll and a hash browns over easy and some chili in a bowl with burgers and fries. Now what kind of pie? Now you see, in this graveyard charade, well, it was kind of a late shift masquerade with 2 for a quarter and it's a dime for a dance with Woolworth rhinestone diamond earrings and a sideways glance. And as the register rings, well, the waitress sings, eggs and sausage and a side of toast, a coffee and a roll and a hash browns over easy and some chili in a bowl with burgers and fries. Now what kind of pie? Now you see, the classified section, well, it offered no direction. And it was cold caffeine in a nicotine cloud. And as the touch of your fingers continues to linger burning in my memory, well, I've been 86 from your scheme, and I'm in this melodramatic nocturnal scene, kind of a refugee from a disconcerted affair at the end of an emotional cul-de-sac. And as the lead-pipe morning falls, waitress calls, eggs and sausage and a side of toast, a coffee and a roll and a hash browns over easy and some chili in the bowl with burgers and fries. Now what kind of pie? A la mode, if you will. I just come in to join the crowd, having some time to kill. Nothing else to do, just come in to join the crowd, having some time to kill. Nothing else to do, just come in to join the crowd, having some time to kill. I got a refill on this coffee, partner. Well, let's see here. That's a little, another kind of travelogue about Stanfield, Arizona on a sweltering sort of afternoon at the end of a dirt cul-de-sac Interstate US 80. There's this little condominium down there called Moon Yucca Arms, and Irene Sorensen sits there pensively, and she got her feet propped up on a big stack of baskets. She's an Overdrive magazine there, you know. And you don't have to laugh at these, Kenny. You're being paid, that's right. You have to laugh at these. So this is, you see, it's one of those strange afternoons, and the sky turns the color of Pepto-Bismol, and it's a weird sort of arrangement, and you got feet propped up. It's a Masonite coffee table, and there's several squashed out Newport butts in a stolen LeBaron Hotel ashtray, and the porcelain poodles are scowling at you from the knick-knack shelf. And the glass swans ain't too crazy about you either. Busted Philco over there, and Days of Our Lives, and How to Save a Marriage. And it's kind of putting the vice grips on your mental health as you attempt to forge something out of the whole scene. This is a truck driving ballad. It's called Semi-Sweet. Those diesels rolling Friday nights out bowling. When it's all for a 12-hour lay overnight. You wish you had $1 for every time you hollered. That is gonna be leaving. Leaving and it's never coming back. But the curtain lays so billow with the heads on your pillow and the trousers can't bust them, swell it. Hanging off of the chair, flying through your pain. You go on and tell him he's your man. And now you ain't got the courage to leave. That's on his mind. You're the only one he's ever gonna find. It's kind of special. You understand his complicated soul. But the only place a man can breathe and collect his thoughts. You know it's midnight. It's midnight as he's flying away on the road. Honey, you packed and unpacked so many times you lost track. Now the steam heat is dripping off the walls. But when you hear his engines, you're looking through the window in the kitchen, baby, and you know you're always gonna be there when he calls. Cause he's a truck driving man. Gonna have to be stopping him when he can. Cause he's a truck driving man. He's gonna have to be stopping him when he can. That was Kenny Soderblum on alto, and that was Mr. Jim Atlas on upright bass. Pulling on your coat about something here about driving in the rain. Driving in the rain with no wipers, with the whispering brushes of wet radios on wet pavement, blazing a taillight trail. You ain't got no spare and you ain't got no jacket. You don't give a shit cause you're never coming back, Christ. I said cancel on those economy automobiles driving around in the fetal position. I said, Christ, give me something where I can stretch out my legs with a bottle of Vicks Formula 44 coming by. So all I'm talking about is driving in the rain. Those little suckers that beat up on your windshield. And I call them diamonds on the windshield. Tears from heaven. now I'll be pulling into town on the interstate and talking about a steel train in the rain. And as the wind bites my cheek through the wings, he's late and nice. Freeway flying always make me sing. I got a duster's trying to change my tune, and he's pulling up fast on the right. And he's rolling restlessly by a 24-hour moon. I got a Wisconsin hiker with the cue ball ahead, and he's wishing he's home in a Wisconsin bed. 15 feet of snow in the east, man. Colder than welding's ass. I said it's colder than a ticket taker's smile. You know, it's cold enough to freeze up balls right out of a brass monkey. I said it's colder than a gut-shot bitch wolf dog with 9-second puffs. She's pulling a number 4 trap up a hill in the dead of winter in the middle of a snowstorm with a mouthful of porcupine quill. Now it's Oceanside, it's ending the ride. St. Clement is coming up. And them Sunday desperados slipping by cruising with a dry pack. I got an orange driving and a neon pill, and that theater's filling to the brim. Talk about slave girls and hot spur with bucket full of sin and the metropolitan area. Interchanging connections and fly-by nights from Riverside and out-of-state plates run a little late. Now the sailors jockey for the fast lane. 101 don't miss it. Got rolling hills, the concrete fields, and that broken lines ain't mine. Cause the 8's going east and the 5's are going north, and the merchant nexus crazy all back and forth. They see your sign, cross the line, sing with the blink. Cause that radio's gone on for years, won't give you time to think. Hearing the rumble, ladies, you be fumbling for a cigarette. Plays on through that midnight jungle. Remember someone you can't forget. One more block, that engine's talking, whispering a home at the last. It is Jackson, I said it's one more block, and the engine's talking, whispering a home at the last. 'Cause I got diamonds on my windshield and them tears from heaven. And right now I'll be pulling into town on the interstate and talking about a steel train in the rain. And as the wind bites my cheek through the wings, it's late and nice. Freeway flying always make me sing. It's late and nice. Freeway flying always make me sing. Sit late and nice and this freeway flying always make me sing. I said I got an overhead cam and glass packs now. So park that sucker. Something about Denver, Colorado, and it's down on around 17th and Walsey Street, a provocative little boulevard, and down there most nights, if you're out at the right time, there's a cat named, his name is Metropolitan, twice as nice, crying in the streets, Chucky Weiss. He come highballing by in this, man, I don't know what he's driving now. He had a Subaru then. I think he invested in a luxury automobile since. There's this little place called Dollar Bills, Easy Autos. And, you know, just typical sort of crooked car salesman, all dressed up in those seersucker Saturday evening cranberry accoutrement ensembles, and hell, well, they're crooked, that goes without saying. Well, screw them in the ground somewhere, someday, I don't know. So it's about a kind of a banana moon in a fruit salad sky. tight, slack-clad girls on the graveyard shift and beating the cement stroll and catch the midnight drift and cigar-chewing Charlies in their newspaper nests, grifting a hot horse tips on who's running the best. And I'll be blinded by the neon. Don't try to change my tune, cause I thought I heard a saxophone and drunk on the moon. And the moon's a silver slipper, pouring champagne stars, and Broadway's like a serpent pulling shiny top-down cars, and Larimer is teeming with that undulated beat as some Bonneville is screaming its way wildly down the street. Well, you see, I'm blinded by the neon. Don't try and change my tune, 'cause I thought I heard a saxophone. I'm drunk on the moon. Fluttering race, and the moon's on the wane, and tarts mutter their dream hopes that the night will ordain. And come schemers and dancers and cherry delight as a Cleveland-bound greyhound is cutting through the night. Well, you see, I hawked all my yesterdays. Don't try and change my tune, 'cause I thought I heard a saxophone. I'm drunk on the moon. And a little tune here about bachelorhoodism. Sooner or later, I guarantee you'll find somebody that will severely run you up the rack and change your oil and pull your transmission and all that. In the meantime, this is dedicated to all the bachelors here this evening. I know you're out there. There's very little else to do on a night such as this. This is dedicated to a girl I know. She's been married several times. She's been married so many times she got rice marks all over her face. Come on, let's pick up the laughter out there, for Christ's sakes. We're on the air. All my friends are married, every Tom and Dick and Harry must be strong if it'll go it alone. Here's to the bachelors and the Bowery bums and those who feel that they're the ones that are better off without a wife. 'Cause I've been sleeping until the crack of noon, midnight howling at the moon, going out when I want to, coming home when I please. And I don't have to ask permission if I want to go out fishing. And man, I never have to ask for the keys, no. Well, you know, I never been no Valentino or anything. I had a girl live in Reno. Went and left me for a trumpet player because he didn't get me down. Because he was wanted for assault, and though he said it weren't his fault, well, the coppers rode that sucker right out of town. And I've been sleeping until the crack of noon. Now at midnight, howling at the moon. Now I've been going out when I want to, and coming home when I please. Now I don't have to ask permission if I want to go out fishing. And man, I never have to ask for the keys, no. Well, you see, I'm kind of selfish about my privacy. Now as long as I can be with me, most of the time the both of us get along so well, I can't even believe it. But I love it, chew the fat with folks. And I've been listening to all your dirty jokes, and I'm so thankful for these friends I do receive. That I like I sleep until the crack of noon. Now at midnight, howling at the moon. And I'll be going out when I want to, and coming home when I please. And I don't have to ask permission if I want to go out fishing. And I never have to ask for the keys, no. No, I never have to ask for the keys.
See, Sally, it was just the other night. The other night, there was
Kind of a blurred drizzle down the plate glass window. The neon swivel stick was stirring up the sultry night air. And the yellow biscuit of a kind of a buttery cue ball wool was rolling maverick across an obsidian sky. As the buses went groaning and wheezing, down on the corner, I was freezing on a restless boulevard at a midnight road. I was across town from Easy Street. The tight knots of moviegoers and out-of-towners. On a stroll with the buildings towering high above, lit like dominoes or black dice. With used car salesmen, all dressed up in Purina checkerboard slacks and Foster Grant wraparounds. Man, they were pacing in front of Rainbow Earlshire $39.95 merchandise just like Parker's at a shooting gallery. Throwing out some kind of a Texas gleaning routine, or they give you that P.T. Barnum spiel, you know? Like there's a sucker born every minute, buddy. You just happen to be coming along at the right time. And they get all dressed up in those kind of serious seersucker Saturday evening cranberry accoutrement ensembles as all the harlequin sailors are on the stroll. In search of like new paint, decent factory air, and AM/FM dreams. With all the bastard amber yellow cabs and stacked up in the taxi zones, waiting like pinball machines to be taken off a joyride to some kind of a magical place. With a waiting in line just like truckers' welcome diners with dirt lots full of Peterbilts and Kenworths and Jimmys and the like. And they're highballing with bankrupt brakes. They're overdriven and they're underpaid and they're overfed and a day late and a dollar short. But Christ, I got my lips around the bottle, I got my foot on the throttle, I'm standing on the corner. Standing on the corner, man, I'm just like a just got in town Jasper on a street corner with a Gasper. Got myself some kind of a Cheshire billboard grin, stroking a goatee chin. I'm using parking meters as walking sticks, kind of on the inebriated stroll, you understand? With my eyelids propped open at half-mast, but over at Chubb's Pool and Snooker. It was a nickel after 2. Yeah, it was a nickel after 2, and in the cobalt steel blue dream smoke, why, it was the radio that groaned out the hit parade. As the chalk squeaked and the floorboards creaked and an Olympia sign winked through a torn yellow shade. as old Jack Chance himself, leaning up against a Wurlitzer and eyeballing out a 5-ball combination shot. 5-ball combination shot, man. Possible, you'd say, perhaps beyond the realm of possibility? Nah. Because he'd be stretching out those long, tawny fingers. He's out across a cool green felt with a provocative golden gate and a full table rail shot that's no sweat. So I lean up against my banister and wander over to the Wurlitzer and punch 8-2. That's life. That's what all the people say. You're riding high in April and you're seriously shot down in May. Yeah, but I know I'm gonna change that tune when I'm underneath kind of a stray dog moon in a tenderloin sky. Yeah, and as the L train comes tumbling across the trestles, sounding like the ghost of Gene Krupa with an overhead cam and glass packs. Yeah, and the sun came crawling yellow out of a manhole at the foot of 23rd Street as a Dracula moon in the black disguise was making its way back to its prepaid room at the St. Moritz Hotel. And the whispering brushes of wet radials on wet pavement, man, there's a traffic jam session on Belmont tonight. Yeah. You see, I continue to lean up against my banister. And I've been looking for some kind of an emotional investment with romantic dividends. Now a physical negotiation is underway, you understand. It's something compounded nightly as I attempt to consolidate all my missed weekly rendezvous into one low monthly payment. But the chances are that more than likely I'll be held over for another smashed weekend. That's 206, Sally. Good night.
Now, this is a song about Saturday night. Call yourself up on the phone. It's very simple. Saturday rolls around, you need a date. Call yourself up, you're always gonna be around. And you ask yourself out, and you ain't no fool, you're always gonna say yes. And I always take myself to class joints, I ain't cheap or anything. I go down there, get a little dinner at the Victoria Cafe. Strange looking little patty melt there. Walk out of there with enough gas to open up a Shell station most nights. And I had this damn, it's called a veal cutlet sandwich. Gravy's extra. Cup of coffee, a veal cutlet sandwich. Got up, walked off my damn plate all the way down to the end of the bar and come back and try to beat the shit out of my cup of coffee. The coffee wasn't strong enough to defend itself. So it was a fascinating evening. So I drove myself home and take a scenic route and park in front of the house and, we just kind of dawdle for a while, get some smooth music on FM. Slide in close to yourself, whisper something in your ear like, I like your style. And then, he said, those earrings from Woolworth, fascinating perfume you have on tonight, that must be. Take yourself up to the door and you say, being a bona fide high voltage bachelor, you end up taking advantage of yourself. See? No way around it. I ain't weird or anything. I don't tie myself up first. I just ease into it, real casual eye.
Hey, gas her up and you get on behind the wheel. Now you got your arm around this sweet one, your Oldsmobile. You're barreling down the boulevard and looking for the heart of Saturday night. You got paid on Friday, your pockets are jingling. Now that you see the lights and you get all tingling 'cause you're cruising with the sex and looking for the heart of Saturday night. And they're combing your hair, you're shaving your face, you're trying to wipe out every trace of all the other days. In a week, you know this will be the Saturday. You're reaching your peak, you're stopping on the red, and you're going on the green. Now tonight will be like nothing, man, you've ever seen. It finds you barreling down the boulevard, looking for the heart of Saturday night. Tell me, is it the crack of the pool ball, that neon buzzing? Is it the telephone ringing at your second cousin? The barmaid as she's smiling from the corner of her eye. The magic of the melancholy's here in your eye that makes it kind of special. It's down in the cold. You've been dreaming of them Saturdays that came before they found you stumbling onto the heart of Saturday night. You gassed her up behind the wheel with your arm around your sweet one, your Oldsmobile, and barreling down the boulevard and looking for the heart of Saturday night. Tell me, is it the crack of the pool balls, that neon buzzing? Is it the telephone ringing at your second cousin? Or the barmaid as she's smiling in the corner of her eye? The magic of the melancholy's here in your eyes that makes it kind of special. It's down in the cold. You'll be dreaming of them Saturdays that came before they found you stumbling onto the heart of Saturday night. You're stumbling on the heart of Saturday night. Never saw the morning till I stayed up all night. I never saw your sunshine till you turned out the light. I never saw my hometown till I stayed away too long. I never heard the melody till I needed the song. I never saw the white line until I was leaving you behind. I never knew I needed you until I was caught up in a bind. Never spoke I love you till I cursed you in vain. I never felt my heartstrings until I nearly went insane.
till I moved to the west. I never saw the moonlight until it shone off of your breast. I never saw your heart till someone tried to steal it away. And I never saw your tears until I rolled down your face. I never saw the morning until I stayed up all night. I never saw your sunshine till you turned out your love light, baby. Never saw my hometown till I stayed away too long. And I never heard the melody until I needed the song.